This is a story about if Ichigo was dating my OC Otachi, and they both get turned into Mew Mews, but he is a Woof Woof, not a Mew Mew. He is a Wolf Fox. Fulf. Chapter 1. In the beginning. This is for my girlfriend Dante. Earth. A beautiful blue plant filled with millions of life forms. Earth today, however, there are around 2,580 species of animals facing extinct on this planet. It is time to stand up against this destruction. Now! For all living creatures, and for ourselves. Sigh, Ichigo sighed. It's so nice outside today, so why am I stuck inside this endangered animal exhibit with Messiah? There is a new student going to school today, and I want to see who it is, so I must go from here to school to see who it is. Meanwhile, Messiah babbled, so Ichigo walked away. It was then that she ran into the new student in the museum. Oh, he is so cute, Ichigo thought. Hello, I am Otachi, who are you? He smiled. He is good at school, and smart, and cute, and very athletic and popular at school, and has a great smile. Hello, I am Ichigo, and who are you? I'm Otachi, he smiled sadly. What's wrong? Ichigo asked. We are going to be late to school, Otachi frowned. He bonked her on the head. Let's go, silly. Ichigo blushed heavily. Okay, I would love to go with you, Otachi-kun. Messiah ran up behind her. Ichigo. Hey, Ichigo, I was talking to you. Hey, what are you doing talking to my girl? The next day at school, Ichigo and Otachi decided to walk together to school. Also, she dumped Messiah. It was a bright and sunny day, and the birds were chirping loudly, and it was sunny. Yawn, Ichigo yawned. I'm exhausted and tired, Ichigo said. Oh, hi, said Ichigo's friends. Hi, said Zoe. Wow, you're here early today, said her friend. Thanks for noticing, said Ichigo. It is because I got a ride to school from the cool new guy. Oh my gosh, do you know the new guy? He is so cute. No, I do not know the new guy. I wish I was dating him, the friend said. This is great, they said. They heard a giant group of every girls cheering in the distance. OMG, he's so hot and cool, they screamed out at once. Sorry, ladies, I got to get to class, he said charmingly. He walked to class. Ichigo followed, because she has the same class. Hey again, Ichigo, he said. He sat next to her, next to the window. Hi, Ichigo blushed. She had a crush on him. Hey, can I borrow a pencil? Otachi inquired. Yes, let me get one, Ichigo said as she grabbed her pencil. She went to hand it to her, but got bumped by someone else and it went flying. Otachi caught it in midair. Wow, Ichigo thought. He would make a great Mew Mew. Oh, yeah, boys can't be Mew Mews. Duh. Later on, they went to the museum, get it? Wow, I never noticed that building, Ichigo said as she noticed a cool building. It was Cafe Mew Mew. What a cute cafe, she cried. Maybe I'll ask Okachi to go there later. True love can be difficult, Mint said. She is sarcasm girl. Then they saw Bridget being bullied by some mean girls, but Pudding jumped on them, and Zakuro said hi, or something to that effect. Then Otachi came, and stopped the girls from stopped bullying, and all the girls thought he was cool. He is cool, Mint said. Then suddenly an earthquake happened. Get under me, said Otachi. They hid... Shit. They hid him. They hid under him as a giant beam hit them, and they became Mew Mews except Otachi, who disappeared. Woof Woof Power, Chapter 2. Itachi was in a void, like he'd ever seen. Is that a wolf? He thought, and it was. Then he saw a fox. They went in each other, and then went in him. I have powers now, he thought excitedly. And it was true. Chapter 3. Ichigo was fighting the Predacite. Meanwhile, Kish was talking about this stuff. Strawberry Bell Bell, Ichigo screamed. I guess I have no choice. I have to do this. She has her weapon, the Strawberry Bell. She attacked the monster. For your evil actions, I will make you pay. She began to rap. Mew Mew style, Mew Mew grace. Mew new power in your face. Then she said ribbon strawberry attack. The monster turned into a regular mouse again and Matcha ate the parasite. Recovery complete, Otachi said. What just happened? Ichigo said. We had to fight the evil alien's predecessors. Otochi exclaimed. "This is because you are a Mew Mew, and I am a Woof Woof. The aliens infect animals and turn them into monsters. So they shot animal DNA at us, and yours is a cat, and mine is a fox wolf, or a fulf. We are biological weapons to fight back with endangered species. It's genetic therapy, like cancer cells, but we have animal cells. Also, Matcha is a cat fairy who eats parasites. Work hard. You're a superhero now. Ichigo, What? Oh, yeah, also, we have to work at Cafe Mew Mew. My brother Ryu is in charge of the project." Otochi smiled. "Get on my motorbike and I'll take you to the cafe." "Okay," Ichigo said. She was scared and held on to him by his arms as they rode to the cafe to work. They got to the cafe and put on their uniforms. Ichigo's was a pink maid uniform with a hot apron on. It was really cute. Otochi's outfit was black silk with red and gold trim, and it had fire on his sleeves and golden bridges up the front. It was fitting and showed off his muscled physique. He had on a black combat boots and a martial art gloves. His pants were black and had chains on them. His eyes were brown and his hair was black and his eyes were red. They got redder like blood when he was mad, but right now he was happy because Ichigo was happy. "You look cool," Ichigo said. "You look kawaii," Otochi replied. Ichigo blushed. Ryu came up and said, "You have marks on you." Ichigo looked at her inner thigh and saw a weird mark. Otochi said, "I already found mine. It was right next to his birthmark that looked like a fang, and it was another fang." "Anyway, you two are the leaders," Ryu said. He walked away to make cake. "We have to go find the other Mew Mews," said Otochi. "We can stay in the cafe and listen to girly stuff to find out where Mew Mews are and other Mew Mews are girls." Ichigo nodded. "Right." The sun shimmered down against the ivory pavement, and the dew from the glass glistened like tears. "It is a good day," said Ichigo, "but how will we find the other Mew Mews?" "Easy," said Otochi, holding up a handkerchief. "This belongs to Sarcasm Girl, and she is a Mew Mew. I can tell. I have the ability to sense Mew Mews when they are nearby and aliens." "Wow," said Ichigo, "that's so cool." They got to the Mint's house. They looked it up in the phony book. But when Ichigo was there, her ears and tail popped out because she wanted to hold his hand. Otachi's tail was out. Ot was always out. It was long and black and a wolf's tail. Mint's dog Mikey started barking, which scared away Ichigo, so it was up to Otachi to find Mint. "I'll wait here," said Ichigo, hiding behind a mailbox. "Okay," said Otachi. Otachi went to the door and rang the doorbell on the door. "What do you want, Aid Mint?" Her hair was blue and up in buns, and wore a fancy purple dress that accentuated her curves. "Well, Miss Beautiful, I found your handkerchief." Mint frowned and said, "I already have a boyfriend." Otachi said, "It's okay, I do too," and pointed to Ichigo. Mint frowned and said, "What she got that?" But she was interrupted when Mickey ran away. Mickey, "No!" Mint yelled. Otachi said, "Don't worry, I'll get it." He ran with wolf speed and caught up to it and catched it and brought it to Mint. Mint said, "Thank you, take these tickets to my ballet," and closed the door. Otachi ate, brought the tickets to Ichigo, and asked if she wanted to go for a date. Ichigo said, "I don't want to see anything with that bitch, but I'll go for oo." "Then it's a date, Otachi." Smile. Meanwhile, at the ballet, Otachi and Ichigo were sneaking around backstage. Ichigo had on a black cat suit, and Otachi had on a black wolf suit with chains and red lining and fingerless gloves. Otachi said, "I have to go find Mint's mark. You go find the alien." And he went to Mint's changing room. Suddenly, I saw her as I opened the door. Mint was naked, and I saw her back. She had 2 tiny bird wings. Her hair was down and glistening. Mint turned and said, "What are you here, you pervert?" Otachi said, "You are a Mew Mew." Suddenly, Mickey turned into a big monster. Otachi pulled his wolf sword out and started to attack. "I will help you," Ichigo screamed. Ichigo was already transformed, but Otachi didn't need to transform because he already had his sword. "You're a cat, and you are a fox wolf," Mint gasped, surprised. "It's a wolf," Otachi grinned. "Mint." Then Ichigo got pinned to the wall by the Mickey dog cat monster, and there was a crocodile there. What is that crocodile doing here?" Otachi said. "It's part of the play," Mint said. It went to attack Mint, but Otachi was too busy helping Ichigo from Mickey, so Mint screamed and she transformed. "I am a bluebird," Mint said, holding her bluebird arrow up. Mint killed the crocodile, and Otachi turned Mickey back to normal. Masha wasn't there, so Otachi put the parasite in his pocket. "Thank you for saving Mickey," Mickey said. "You're welcome," Otachi smiled charmingly. Ichigo forebode and grabbed Otachi's arm. "He is all mine." We are a team now, Otachi said. Mint said, I don't want to be on a team with her. The feeling is mutual, get it? Ichigo said, and they all laughed at the pun. To be continued. The next day at school was talking about a haunted school. I'm scared of ghosts, Ichigo said after math class. Otachi said, there was no such thing as ghosts, and laughed at her. Mint said, walk me to class. Ichigo frowned and said, Hez walking me to class, and Otachi said we all go to the same class. Mint went to a fancy private school, but decided to change schools when she was a Mew Mew. After they got to math class and sat down, Ichigo realized she did not have her homework, and she started to cry. Mint said, no time to cry, we must learn more about the ghost that haunts the ghost school. Otachi said, there is no ghost. Ichigo said, but my homework. Mint said, it might not be a ghost, it might be a Mew Mew. The teacher said, quiet, and pull out your book. Today we are going to be learning about mitosis. Mint hates mitosis. Ichigo frowned and whispered, this is stupid. Mint said, I can tutor you, I am the student body president. After class, they went on the motorcycle to the haunted school. It was dark. There was a dead girl outside. Otachi held both their hands because they were scared. After they got lettuce, they could go home. They went to the pool and saw the demon. Woof Woof Power, Chapter 4. They were at the pool to get the lettuce. Suddenly, the water popped up and hit at them, but they fought it back with Strawberry Check and Mint Echo. We did it! Let's look for lettuce now, Mint said, loudly. Not so fast, Otachi exclaimed. There is still lettuce in the pool, and she is all ready to strike. Just as he, 4E, said that, lettuce blasted water and grabbed Ichigo, and pulled her under the pool. Ah! Ichigo cried and screamed. She was being drowned by the hands, and thought that this wasn't like the other animas. She felt like she thought she was going to die, but Mint and Otachi blasted attacks at her to save her. Oh my god, guys, it's lettuce, Ichigo said, shocked, as she saw lettuce come out of the water. Why are you doing this? Otachi asked. Lettuce silently thought to herself that he was hot, but had to deal with the matter at hand. That matter was that she was scared and afraid of being a Mew Mew. She transformed. She's a Mew Mew, Mint yelled. One of our kind, Ichigo replied. Lettuce summoned her lettuce Tanit and said, Ribbon lettuce flash. The water blasted at them and hit the girls, but Otachi blocked it from hitting them. Lettuce stop this, Otachi said. You're a Mew Mew like them, and I am a Woof Woof. We are a team, and do you not need to be scared, okay? Lettuce cried. I just wanted to be friends with everyone, but now I'm a freak. You are not a freak. You're an amazing superhero, Otachi said. The other Mew Mews agreed with nodding. There are no excuses for attacking other people, Ichigo said. I can't let her off easy. I will ownish her. What are you saying, Ichigo? Mint said. No, Mint, stay here. Otachi held Mint's shoulder. Ichigo jumped at Lettuce and tickled her armpits. For your evil actions, I will make you pay. Everyone laughed at Ichigo's joke, and Lettuce laughed at the tickle. Ichigo and Lettuce fell in the pool and laughed. I'm sorry I won't do it again, Lettuce blushed and smiled and cried. We are all friends. Chapter 5. Hi guys, I hope you're liking this story. Thanks for all the reviews. Okay, let's get a crackin'. Otachi was bored, and it was summertime, so he suggested they all go on a break. His brother Ryu was gone, so he was currently in charge of Cafe Mew, and Keiichiru was gone in too. Hey, Otachi said. Hey, what? Said Mint and Lettuce except Lettuce. We should go have fun. While the cats are gone, the mice will play, Otachi said. What does hat mean? Ichigo asked. I'm right here. It means we can have fun while Ryu and Kichou are gone, Mint sneered. I don't know if that's a good idea, said Lettuce, frowning with a small blush face. Aw, come on, Lettuce. Well, have a good time, Otachi said, which made Lettuce blush more because she had a crush on Otachi. Mint put her hands on her hips. I think it's a great idea, said Mint, and she stepped closer to Otachi, for little did Lettuce know, but she had as crush on Otachi herself. In fact, all three girls had crushes on Otachi. Mint picked up Mickey and sat on the table to have tea. Arf, arf, said Mickey. Ichigo cried out, If we're going on vacation, you can't bring your dog. Mint just laughed and didn't reply. An hour later, the three of them were standing in the Beach Boardwalk amusement park. Ichigo was wearing a bright pink one-piece bathing suit with watermelons on it and a cute white miniskirt and black and white sandals. Her hair was up in white ribbons. Mint was wearing a blue ball gown over a skimpy navy two-piece. She had lots of frills and bows, and her hair was down. Mickey was in her black purse and wearing matching bow. Lettuce was wearing jeans and a t-shirt, and a big sun hat with sunflowers on it. "Why are you dressed up so fancy?" said Ichigo to Mint. "We are at the beach," said Mint. The three walked on the boardwalk to the amusement park, where they met Otachi buying tickets. Otachi was wearing a black shirt with a black leather jacket and black fingerless gloves and chains on his belt and black combat boots. His eyes were not red today because he was in a good mood. "Let's hit the roller coasters," Otachi said. "I'm afraid of roller coasters," said Lettuce. The three boarded the roller coasters with Otachi. Ichigo and Mint fought over who sat next to Otachi, but in the end Otachi sat next to Lettuce because she was scared and afraid of the roller coaster. "Now hold on to me if you get scared afraid," said Otachi. "Okay, I'll hold on to you if I get scared," said Lettuce. Ichigo and Mint overheard this and were furious because they wanted to hold Itachi's hand. As they got to the top of the roller coaster, when it started to descend, Lettuce found out she wasn't that scared and she went, "Wee!" Ichigo and Mint screamed and clung to each other, and Otachi leaned back and crossed his arm and smirked. The roller coaster was looping and go-a-boogle up and down, and it was a good ride, and when they got off, Ichigo and Mint were shaking scared, but Lettuce was not, and Lettuce was having such a good time, but Ichigo and Mint were mad because it looked like Lettuce and Otachi were on a date, and Ichigo and Mint wanted to be on a date with him. "Hold on, I have to go to the bathroom," Ichigo said. She walked away. My, look what we have here," Kish's disembodied voice said. He was chuckling. "Who is there?" Ichigo turned around. "Is that you, Otachi?" "Oh, now you're making me jealous," said Kish as he jumped down and kissed Ichigo on the mouth. "Lol, Kish is such a pedophile." "What just happened?" Ichigo said. "My name is Kish. Thanks for the kiss. TBC. Woof Woof Power, Chapter 6. Fire of the Heart. Lettuce was watching Hamtaro at the cafe with Pudding. "Wouldn't it be cool if we were hamsters? I think it would be cool." Ryu said, "I can do that if you want to try it out." "No, I am a monkey," said Pudding, "and I have superpowers." She swung from the lamp and her monkey tail wagged, and she made monkey noises. "Suit yourself," said Ryu, but Lettuce was much more interested in being a hamster. "I want to be a ham," she said. "That's silly," said Mint on the table. Meanwhile, Otachi and Ichigo were on a date. "We have to find the fifth Mew Mew. We are dating," said Otachi. "That's right," said Ichigo. "Where should we look?" So they looked. Suddenly, Pudding pulled out a magazine. "Look, it looks like Zakuro the model." "Oh, the model," said Mint. "We should sneak into the model agency," said Mint. "I have a brother who works there," said Otachi. "I do modeling sometimes." Just then, Lettuce burst in the building and held up her new pet hamster and said, "Look what I have! I shall hug him and kiss him, and his name is Bob, LOL. Ichigo, capital O, underscore, lowercase o. Later that day, at the modeling agency, everyone was wearing sexy outfits, except Pudding, 'cause she's like 12. Lettuce was first. She lost Bob and had to chase him around, so she didn't get to audition. Pudding twirled her plates and breathed fire, and the judges were not happy. Mint moved beautiful from her ballet did help. Ichigo didn't do so good. She got dizzy and nervous. Otachi was disguised as a talent agent, so he was judging every boy. He watched as Zakuro rocked the room. While the girls were busy trying to catch the hamster, Otachi runned off and followed Zakuro down the hallway. After a minute, Zakuro said, "I know you're there." "I know," said Otachio, putting his hands in his pocket. "Do you want an autograph or something?" Zakuro asked, crossing her arms. "No," Itachi said coolly. "I'm here on business." Zakuro looked Itachi questionably. "What kind of business? I don't work outside the agency," she said. Itachi flashed a charming smile, which made Zakuro a little unnerved. To be continued. Woof Woof Power, Chapter 7, sort of. Who let the dogs out? "So what is it you wanted to tell me?" Zakuro said. "I think you should join our Mew Mew team," Otachi said. "Listen you," said Zakuro. "I know I have powers, and I know I am special, but I work by myself, and no one else can ever change my mind. Ever since I was born, I was by myself, and I had to learn to live by myself on cold streets. and I used to spend every day gathering food for my brothers and sisters. I've had a hard life, and I don't need you to tell me I need to work as a team when I've been alone my whole life. I'm on the top now, mortal, and I can support myself, and am not afraid of any aliens or parasites, and as I came to this planet, I've been trying to get along, and you people just keep making things harder for me, and I'm sick of it. You make me sick, so my answer is no. Later, Otochi went back to Cafe Mew Mew and told them the bad news. Mint was devastated. "What do you mean, came to this planet?" asked Ichigo. "Do you think she is an alien? "That doesn't make sense," Mint said. "No, it is not true." Otochi frowned and cross-bred his arms. "I think it may be true when we need to keep an eye on her." So they agreed to keep an eye on her. Just then the alarm rang. "Oh no, that's an alien," said Pudding. That went out the door, and Otochi drove the Mew Mew tank. The Mew Mew The Mew Mew tank is this cool thing Ryu invented so they could get there faster. Mint flew above the tank and said, "Oh, we are almost there." Ichigo said, "Ah," and they got there. Meanwhile, the alien that was there was wiggling around infesting the Kanto region. "Oh no, what is that?" said Ichigo as a giant milk tank got her. Her blood sprayed out everywhere. Otochi sliced the milk tank in half and it used rollout, but it died. "Oh no, Ichigo is dying," said. Kiki jumped into the air and kicked a Pikachu, but Pikachu thundered and killed her, and things were not looking good. Otochi was towed up with a Tangela when Mint got stabbed. "Oh no, Mint is dead," said Mint. Just then Otochi screamed, "No!" Then Sakura woke up. "I guess I have to be a Mew Mew now." Author's note, lol, this chapter was a joke. Don't take it seriously. I've been playing Pokemon, lol. Woof Woof Power, Chapter 8. Broken Heart. Zakuro was convicted. "I must be Mew Mew," said Zakuro solemnly. "It is to save the planet." She went to Cafe Mew Mew to tell the others that she was to be a Mew Mew. Ryo answered the door and said, "Hello, Zakuro." Zakuro said, "Let me in," and he did. "I have important," Zakuro said, and everyone listened. "Zakuro, are you here to be a Mew Mew with us?" said Mint. Zakuro didn't answer. "Yes," she said. "Yay, now we are a full-fledged team," said. "Not so fast," said Otochi. "We still have the last Mew Mew to get." So they decided to go to the zoo because that's where the Mew Mew was going to be at the zoo. They got to the Mew Mew Zoo, get it? And, "Oh, it's Pudding," said Ichikog. They went to Pudding. Said Pudding, "Hi, Desu." "Pudding! Be Mew Mew with Zakuro," said. Kiki got on a ball and the others watched amused. She could jump and do flips and balance plates and breathe fire and do a lot of tricks. And she got out various musical instruments and played them all at once. When she was done, she held her hand out. "Now that'll be $50, Desu." "What? I don't have any money," said Mint. Mint was wearing her hair in one bun and had on a yellow dress, and she wore glasses even though she didn't need them. They were cosmetic, and she had on diamond earrings. The boob part of her dress was white, and she had white sandals and ribbon sleeves. Zakuro frowned and said, "Neither do I." Her hair was in a ponytail, and she wore a sleek black jacket and ripped jeans with holes in them and black pumps. Ichigo had on a strawberry dress with long sleeves and ruffles and boots. Her hair was. Lettuce was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Her glasses were rectangle today, and she had contacts. Kiki was wearing a Chinese suit. "Hey, give me my money, Desu," said Pudding. "I can't give you free show." She started to cry. Ichigo frowned and put her hands in her bat's pocket. She was wearing a bunny hoodie and knickers. Suddenly, people on the roller coaster screamed. There was a boa constrictor on the roller coaster. The animals had escaped. "Oh no," they all said. Otochi stepped forward. It was the aliens! They all transformed except Lettuce because she was scared of the roller coaster. "I'll stay here with Pudding," she said. "Right," said Otochi. He jumped on the roller coaster with Ichigo. "Look out!" said Zakuro. Kish threw his bomb right at Otochi's chest, but Otachi dodged and pulled his wolfy sword out and attacked at. "What are you doing with my girlfriend here?" said Kish. "She's not your girlfriend," and slashed Kish's face. Grinned angry and bled from face. Kiss punched Otachi, but Otachi blocked with his fist. Mint, and Ichigo were putting the animals back in the cages, while Otachi fought. Otachi's eyes were red like blood when he got angry, and he powered up. Kish laughed. "This is no threat," he said, but got hit. Otachi threw Kish at the roller coaster, but the people were in the roller coaster cart. One of the people fell out and landed on the ground and died. Otachi went, "No!" and went over. It was Messiah. The Woof Woof Power, Chapter 9. Death. It was Messiah's funeral, and everyone was sad. Ichigo cried into Akichi's arms about Hoi. She felt bad for Messiah's death. Ichigo was wearing an all-black one-piece dress and a veil, and Otachi was wearing a tuxedo. Ichigo held his hand. "Why did he have to die?" she asked Otachi. Yesterday they had been in the fight with Kish at the zoo. The animals were escaped, and while the Gitrals put him back, Otachi fought Kish. A horde of aliens infected the annex, and Pudding transformed finally while they fought them. Kish attacked at Otachi, but Tachi threw Kish. Unfortunately, Kish landed at the roller coaster and hit one of the passengers. That passenger was Aoyama. Messiah fell from the tall roller coaster straight to the pavement. The ground was once white, was now red with blood. Otachi's eyes grew red with blood when we became angry, and he slashed at Kish with his wolfy sword. Lettuce and Pudding tried to help Messiah, but it was already too late. "But the game's not over yet," Kish said. "The animals attacked the Muse, but Pudding blocked it. 'Pudding ring inferno!' Pudding yelled. She blasted at the animals. The rest of the Muse joined in the attacky. With Otachi and Kish, Otachi had beaten Kish. But Otachi couldn't win. It wasn't for him." Kish disappeared after saying, "I'll see you again, Mew Mews," and teleported away. The girls and Otachi all stood over Messiah's cold, dead body. It was Twisty Ted, and Otachi put his jacket over Messiah. Holy, the girls' cries. Meanwhile, at the funeral, everyone was crying and sad. "I felt bad for what has happened," said Ichigo. "It's all my fault, Otachi." "No, don't blame yourself," said Mint. "It was an accident, and you did not mean to cause—" "Thanks, Mint." Otachi smiled sad. "I remember when he was close to me," Ichigo whispered. "Yes, this must be tough for her. Let us whisper A's to Mint." After the funeral, everyone parted ways. Ichigo and Otachi decided to walk back together. Otachi carried a cot he found passed out. "I will take it home to help it," he sassed. "Right," Ichigo said. "You seem down." Otachi held the cat to her. "Do you want to pet it?" "Oh," Ichigo, "pet it. It's soft." "You both have the same cord ribbon too," he said as he held the collar. The cat sudden (y) jumped away, and the collar slipped off. "Oops! Oh, it ran away!" Ichigo cried. Otachi tied it around Ichigo's neck. "You need to wear a bell too, so you don't get lost." Ichigo blushed. Otachi said, "Promise, because you're my all-time favorite cat." Ichigo smiled and teared up. "You too," she said, and pulled out a dog collar. "I mean to give this to you." She put the dog collar on him. It was black and red stripes and had spikes on it. "Thanks, Ichigo." Otachi smiled. Ichigo began to cry. "Otachi, What is it?" Otachi asked. Because of Messiah, I feel so bad," Ichigo cried. Otachi hugged her. "Maybe you are asking to take a break?" he asked. "Yes, I think we should take a break. I was so close to him. This is too hard for me right now," she said. "Thank you for understanding." Otachi wiped her tears. "It's okay with me. I want you to be happy, Ichigo." "Thank you," Ichigo smiled.
Tokyo Woof Woof, Chapter 10. It was raining. Ichigo, having lost one of the men she might have loved, wanted to be alone to think about it all. She was outside in the raining and was thinking. Her heart was heavy in her chest, and she had eyes wet from her crystalline tears. She stepped toward the door to her house and paused, thinking about Messiah. How could she face Otachi now that she was feeling this weight? She shook her head and pulled her hand back. No one. She couldn't speak to him now. They were on a break. Sadly, she went into the house and to her room. She sat on her bed and cried, but then heard a deep, mystical voice. "Don't you just wish you could bring them back?" the voice said. It belonged to Kish. He suddenly appeared behind her and hugged around her neck. "I'm here for you now, Kitty Kate." Ichigo stiffened, not knowing how to react. "No, Kish," she said sharply, but she was too sad to pull away. She wanted secretly to listen to what it was Kish had to say. "Yes, yes, I do," she whispered, crying more. "I want him to come back now so badly. I thought I loved Otachi, but now I just don't know what I think." Kish smiled across his devious face. "I don't think you need either of them, cute little Koneko-chan." He swung around to stand in front of her, yellow eyes eyeing her intently. "I think you should just come with me instead. I'm all you really need, and I can make you forget both of them." She shook her head. "No, Kish," she said. "You don't know anything. I need to." She trailed off, not knowing what she wanted. Her eyes were cold and watery. Kish put his hand on Ichigo's arm gently and said, "I'm trying to help, pet." Ichigo looked up at him, not sure if she wanted to pull away or stay where she was. One thing was for sure, and that was that she didn't like him calling her pet. She slapped him across the face, letting him feel the hot sting of pain. "How dare you call me that, and how dare you come to me when I'm so vulnerably?" Kish grinned and licked his lip, which had split as Ichigo had hit him. "Oh, fine," he said cruelly, a devilish glint in his eyes. "You have a lot of anger, Ichigo. You want to make every suffer as much as you." He laughed cruelly. Ichigo was silent. Then Ichigo glared at him through brown eyes and yelled, "No, that's not true. A Mew Mew Byakua's. I don't want anyone to suffer at all. Don't you dare make up your mind for me." Leaning in, Kish pressed his warm lips on Ichigo's forehead and grabbed her forcefully by the arm. Chigo 0 tenses and can't pull away. She screams, but Kish covered her mouth with his hand to silence. She struggled in a futile attempt to get away, and he pushed her against the wall. "Be quiet! Don't want to wake your parent, sup." She slapped his hand away with wolf strength, then tried to run towards the door. He tackled her almost in a glomp, laughing and saying, "What's wrong, Koneko-chan? Aren't we gonna have fun?" Kish pushed his weight against her, pinning her to the floor. Moving his lips to her neck, he bared his fangs and sunk them into her neck. She tenses and opened her mouth to make a scream, but it was stuck in her throat. "What was happening?" Just as fast as it happened, it ended. Kish pulled away from her and licked the delicious-tasting red liquid off his lips. It was sweet, exactly how he imagined her to taste. Ichigo whimpered, feeling dizzy. "I don't feel good," she whispered, turning pale. Her eyes glowed in the dim light, and she shut them. Kish, still on top of her, laughed lowly and whispered, "Soon." Why? Why did this jerk bite my neck? Ichigo thought silently to herself. Kish let out a soft chickle and got off of her. She passed out in a pool of her own blood, her eyes and chest burning. Meanwhile, at the cafe, Mint was worried. Where was Ichigo? She didn't know, so she was worried. Coursing her arm, she shook her head and went back to cooking. Mint was learning to cook and wasn't so good. "I will be a chef one day," said Minty sadly. "Hey, what are you cooking?" asked Lettuce. "I'm making a souffle," Mint smiled. Lettuce smiled. "I like souffle," she said. "Ichigo does too. Hey, has anyone seen her today? She disappeared after the fun roll." "She's probably still sad about it," Otachi said, crossing his armed. Zakuro sighed and said, "Me aunt make me a burrito." Mint frowned and put her hands on her hips. "I am a French chef, Zakura One-chan," she said indignantly. "I don't make burritos. If Ichigo were here, she'd make me a burrito, get it?" But no one felt like laughing at the joke. They were all secretly worried about Ichigo. Pudding suggested, "Why don't we all go to Ichigo's house, Desu?" The rest agreed by nod, except for Otachi, who felt uneasy. "I don't know," he said, but the others left. Otachi decided to look around the park by himself. He was sad that he and Ichigo were broken up and didn't want to see her, but at the park, a crash happening. "Oh no, it am," said Otachi. "Alien!" Zakutro wasn't listening and was listening to Vocaloid on her iPod. Otachi ran to the crash site. Otachi gasped when he saw the alien predecessor. He transformed into his Woof Woof outfit, which was black pants and black long sleeves. He had red fuzz trim and fangs like a wolf. He pulled out his sword and attacked the Turhi Predocyte jumped away and revealed behind it was behind Ichigo. Ichigo had her eyes closed, and when she opened them, the gay were red like blood and empty. Otachi looked again, and she looked sharply. Something was wrong. One eye was blue. She smiles coldly at Otachi. "Ichigo?" he asked. Ichigo laughed quietly and waved her arm. A ray of ice slammed Otachi against the wall. Otachi was shocked, and the ice was ice cold. He stared up at Ichigo and glared. "What have they done to you?" he ached calmly. She shook her head. "You wouldn't understand," she said. She shot fire out and hit Otachi hard. He screamed and got still. He was wonder. What happened? Ichigo was look like herself. She had on a black dress. Her hat went to her knees and was one piece. She had long sleeves and white lace and a black version of her chat belt choker, and her hair was down. She had on a mini black top har with a bow and bulk Lolita shoes, and her eyes were fire red and ice blue. Oh no, Otachi thought. Oh no, indeed. Ichigo lifted the knife and pushed it to his chest. "I'll make you understand," she whispered. "TBC. Hey guys, I wrote this chappie as a collab with my girlfriend Dante. I love you! She wrote the first part. She's a much better writer than me, but I liked it, okay?"
Woof Woof Power, Chapter 10, Traitor. It was depressing day. Otachi barely escaped Ichigo and her new powers. His arm was bleeding and his face bruised. He blocked the stab to the chest with his and barely escaped. Ichigo laughed and had retreated into the UFO, and Otachi was bleeding onto the street. "How could she do this?" Otachi said, but could not think was bleeding too much. "Otachi!" came a cry. Otachi turned and saw Ryu and passed out. When he awake, he was in Ryu's bed, and Ryu was bandaging his bloody arm. "What happened?" Ryu asked, concerned. Otachi sighed and felt sad. "Ichigo," he whispered. "Huh? What about Ichigo?" Ryu whispered. Otachi opened his mouth to talk, but went because his face hurt. "Ow," he groaned. "Don't move, dummy," Ryu said, and moved into Otachi's face to check it. "Thank you for helping me," Otachi said. Ryu shook his head. "Don't mention it, you're my brither." "That's what I do, capital P. Otachi smiled sadly. "Ichigo," he said again. Ryu took Otachi's shirt off. "I'm going to wash these, they're bloody." Otachi said, "Please don't go. I can't be alone right now. I have to tell you about what happened to Ichigo." "Okay." Ryu crossed his arms. "So tell me." Otachi sat up and leaned in to tell secret. She... "Stop babbling and tell me," Ryu said. "I think she is with aliens now," he said, emotion thick in his voice. "What? Aliens?" said Ryu. Otachi was on the brink of sad. "I don't know what to do. I think I still love her." Ryu shook his head and pats his shoulder. "Everything's going to be okay, okay?" Ryu said quietly. "If Ichigo is evil, we will get to the bottom of this." Ryu sighed. He did not like seeing Otachi this vulnerable. "I just miss Ichigi," Otachi said quietly. Ryu said, I know, but don't move, you're hurt. Let me take care of you for now." Lettuce came in the room. "Guys, Ichigo left a letter at the cafe." Ryu was like, "What? Show me," and Lettuce handed him the letter. It was written in blood. The letter said, "I will kill all of you," and was written in blood, "if you don't surrender to me. Signed, the Queen of the Animas." "What could this mean?" said Ryu. "It's Ichigo," Otachi said with his teeth grit. He looked angry and his eyes were red. Lettuce blushed and put her hand on Otachi's hand. She wanted to touch his hand. "Are you angry?" Lettuce spoke. Otachi shook his head. "No, I am fine. Let's prepare to confront Ichigo." Ryu hugged Otachi. "Ryu, we can do this all together." Lettuce joined in on the hug because she wanted to hug also. Otachi, let's get to the bottom of this. Lettuce, right. Ryu, right. To be continued. Chapter 12. Everyone was eating chicken at Cafe Mew, except for Ichi-Go. It was a kind of cloudy day, and the rain fell like tears into on the roof pot. "What will we do about Ichi-Gup?" Zachariah asked to Otachi, who stares sadly. "I don't know," he said, "but we better do something fast." "Maybe we can go into the alien shop where she is," Pudding said, outing Nutella on her chicken. Mint said, "Ew." "If we could get up there, we wouldn't be sitting here now, would we?" Otachi said. He felt bad for the snapping, but Hori was just really upset. "Let's capture her next time she attacks," Mint said, which Lettuce agreed by nod. "I agree," said Lettuce. "I don't want any fart in this, though." "I am scared for Ichigo," said Lettuce, "and Ryu is upset about it, so I will stay here for Ichigo." "But we need your help," said Ryu, and clenched his fist. "Otachi is right," said Zakuro. "We do need your help, Lettuce." Later, they were setting up the Mew tank to get ready to go out. They loaded the tank with bombs and grenades and hot pockets, lol. "I think we are ready," said Mint, hands on her hips. Zakuro put her hands on the controls of the Mew tank. "Are you T-Wo ready?" she asked. They were sending on planning Otachi and Mint into space to save Ichigo Gup. "Wait," said Ryu as he opened the door and came into view. Lettuce and Pudding said, "What, Ryu?" And Pudding said, "Yeah, what?" Ryu said, "You need spacesuits to survive in space, except Mint, because she is a bird and can survive in space." Lettuce and Pudding got out of the tank, and Ryu gave Otachi and Mint and Zakuro spacesuits. Zakuro's was purple and showed her dogtail and was a dress. It had black sequins on it. It had black gloves and black high boots and a big glass helmet. And goggled that were red and a thing on her mouth that helped read her breathe. And it was attached to a tank on her back that had air in it. She had a red belt with a wolf brooch. As she had black space boots and a turtleneck to keep her neck warm and face. Mint wore a fitted blue bodysuit. It was glass helmet and tank, and Mickey had a matching glass helmet and a blue bow on tail. "Why is your dog going into space?" asked Ichigo. "Mickey goes where I go," said Min. Otachi was wearing a black spacesuit. His wolfy sword had been converted into a walled laser gun, and he had a tongue ring. They all got into the Mew tank and prepared to launch. "Are you ready?" asked Zakuro. They all nodded. Zakuro: "Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Blast off!" The three lefted the atmosphere into the space in search of Ichigo's alien shippy _TBC. Woof Woof Power. Chapter 13. The Unlucky Chapter. Space is a big enigma. Itachi was in deep thought when they ate we in the space. The stars glittered in the distance like glitter across a blanket that enveloped them. Otachi stared out the window solemnly. "What's ring?" Mint asked, walking up to Otachi. Zakuro was in the cockpit driving, while Otachi and Mint were in the back room. "Nothing," Otachi whispered. They were in one of the cabins. It had a table and a bed. Otraki was sitting on the bed. "I hope everyone will be safe on Earth," whispered Mint. "We will have a long trip to find the spaceship of the alien," said Otachi. "I know," said Mint. "The map says it's several days." "Okay." Meanwhile, in the cockpit with Akuro was driving, they also had a space monkey with them. The monkey was named Coco, and it was teaching Zachary how to drive the plane. "You need to use the steering wheel like this," said Coco. "Okay," said Zakuro. Back with Otachi and Mint. Mint was sitting on the table next to Otachi, patting his shoulder. Mickey was floating nearby in a dog space suit, lol. "Are you worried about Ichigo?" Mint said. "Yes, I am," said Otachi. "I used to have a hat that reminded me of Ichigo," said Otachi. "Oh really, what was it?" said Mint. "It was a cat named Sir Pouncelot." Otachi frowned. Mint: "Oh, what happened?" "It died." "I'm sorry," Mint said to Otachi. Otachi shook his head. "It's okay, things happen, but I don't want these things to happen to Ichigo like Sir Pouncelot. To be continued." I wrote this P&M break. Spring break. Whoo! Chapter 14. My Heart Will Goon. Everyone was gloating in space to the destination. The destination was the Ufdo. Later on Earth, Pudding and Lettuce re-managooing cafe while Ryu watched. Bob the hamster was with Ryu earlier and they just came in the room. "We've come with a good idea for you to fight aliens with while they're gone," said Ryu, holding up the hamster machine. "Boob has powers now," Lettuce said. Bob flew around, and it was true. "Yes, he can help you fight aliens," said Ryu. "That's great," said Lettuce. "Now we have a fighting chance," said Pudding. Lettuce and Puddin' took Bob to fight their powers at the park. There's aliens always happened at the park. When they got to the park, an alien happens. Lettuce and Puddin' transformed. "Mew Mew style, Mew Mew grace, Mew Mew power on your facey," they said. Pudding jumped at the alien. The alien was Giant Wombat, LOL. And it taxed her and slammed against the tree. "Oh no," said Puddin'. "Lettuce, come on, Bob," said Lettuce. "We have to help Puddin'." Bob said, "Okay." Bob looked like Hamtaro. Bon and Lettuce flew towards the wombat and said their powers. "Rui Bun Lettuce flash at," says Lettuce. "Bob Lettuce pound," said Bob, and the wombat screamed, "Ow!" "OMG, it can talk," said Puddin'. Puddin' was freed from the aliens and kicked it and fire on it, but 3 more aliens, these times the aliens were rats and snakes and spiders, came up from the ground with teeth. Attack all 3 of them hard, and it hurt, and they were pined down and in pain. "Now, ooh will destroy you pesky Mew Mew," said the spider Alieb, and it leaned down to graze its lettuce teeth on Shop Face Nan's Lettuce was sad and it was gross. Suddenly a flash of red light and hit with monster shattered away, and they all exploded into piles of blood and bones and spider pots. "What was that?" said Boob and Puddin' and Lettuce. They turned and saw a boy standing there. He had long black hair and black eyes and ale skin like the moon, and he had fangs and black outfit. But he looked kinda like Otachi, only evil. He grinned and walked over to the girls and the hamster named Bob. "Hello," said the boy. "My name is CL. Lettuce stood up. "Did you just help us?" she asked, and he just nodded. "Who are you?" said Puddin'. "I am CL, and I am friends of vampires. I am the prince of vampires, the prince of all vampires." "There's no such thing as vampires," Og, Lettuce, and Bob agreed by nodding. "I beg to differ," said CL, the prince of all vampires. "Due to you would come in handy for my plan to cuz the Woof Woof is off the planet." And he raised his hand, and the girl screamed, and it went black. TBH.